putting smiles on little faces who could be your neighbor.
Toys for Tots has been an American tradition since 1947.
An organization we're proud to support every year.
Because we believe every child should have a present on Christmas.
We'll donate a toy for everyone you donate.
And match cash donations dollar for dollar.
We want every child to have a Merry Christmas.
For our location or to schedule service, find us at alaskanac.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
That's right. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It's the Monday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Got a lot to get to today on the program. I think we're going to, over the course of the next 2 hours, check every single box for every single sport here in the Valley. Producer Evan is on the other side of the glass, ready to take your phone calls, 480-864-1060. It is a victory Monday for producer Evan, who now has a 1-point lead in the picks. I'm going to get in front of it. I knew I was going to hear about it at some point during the program today. So, yes, a big congratulations. He's going to hang the banner there in the studio. Week 11 pick champion, producer Evan, now in the lead here with the rest of the season to go. A perfect week for him. All 6 points that were available. Oh, no. You did not get the Ravens game. We both missed that one.
Technically, we both missed the Ravens game by a half point.
So just a 4-point performance for you, but it was good enough compared to my lowly 1-point performance to now put you ahead by 1. A closer contest between you and I in the picks than there has been the last 2 weeks for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't want to do it. I'm contractually obligated to do it. That is where we start today's program.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
2 consecutive weeks, 2 consecutive embarrassments against fellow NFC West teams. That's the story. That's what happened yesterday for the Arizona Cardinals. The final score, I don't think even close to describing how bad the Cardinals played yesterday. 41-22 the final. You watched the game. You saw the 17 penalties for 131 yards. And the thing that scares me the most is for 2 straight weeks you've been embarrassed by fellow members of your division, and it's looked different both weeks. Up in Seattle 2 weeks ago, you were unprepared. You did not have your team ready to play against the Seattle Seahawks. And you saw it early and often just how unprepared you were. You did not have the right game plan to face that team. This week, you had a very similar fate, but it was different because this week you were undisciplined. The formula is broken. The Arizona Cardinals are broken. And speaking of breaking, producer Evan, I'm doing something today. Maybe we put out an official press release on the social media accounts, or maybe we just use this as the form for the official press release. I'm officially November 17th, 2025, for public notice. I'm officially breaking up with Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenford. You know how you have the whole, it's not you, it's me? In this case, it's the opposite. It's not me, it's you. I cannot continue to sit on Sunday and watch this team constantly embarrass themselves and be told that everything's okay and be told that no changes are coming. It is still in the plan right now to stick with these 2 guys going into year 4. So today, November 17th, 2025, I'm making a decision. I think I speak for the entire show. I'm not going to speak for any of you. I know some of you out there probably agree with this. I am breaking up with the Arizona Cardinals today until I see a change with the people in charge, because the roster is flawed. The coaching is flawed. The philosophy is flawed. Everything about this organization is flawed, and you've seen it over the last 2 weeks. You were an unprepared mess that embarrassed yourself up in Seattle. You got embarrassed all week long in the media for how poorly things went in Seattle, and then you came out and you committed 17 penalties for 130 yards. And all I see on social media is the coach after the game saying, yeah, well, they call what they call. We weren't good in that department. Really? That's the accountability that we're going to get after a second straight destruction by a fellow NFC West team. That's the best you can offer me in terms of an answer. So I'm making it official today. I'm done. I don't need to see the remaining 7 games to know where I stand with this coach and with this GM. This coach is constantly outcoached. He is constantly outprepared. And you know what, to me, got me to this point today? You've given up 80-plus points the last 2 weeks combined. You're supposed to be the defensive-minded coach. What happened yesterday, what happened last week in Seattle, is not supposed to happen on your watch. I'll give you that the offense has had a ton of injuries. I'll give you that you had to make a quarterback change. I'll give you all the excuses in the world. I can't excuse what I've watched the last 2 weeks defensively. I can't watch and excuse 80-plus points the last 2 weeks combined. You're not supposed to let that happen. Your claim to fame, the one thing on your resume that got you this job, is that you're a defensive-minded guy. That's not supposed to happen on your watch. It's especially not supposed to happen back-to-back weeks. And then there's the general manager who put together this flawed roster, who made the decision to not do anything to this offense, not make any changes to the offensive line, not invest in another wide receiver. Although we're going to talk about the one good thing that came out of yesterday. The Cardinals have a wide receiver one, and it's not the player you think it is. Just a complete and utter embarrassment again yesterday by this franchise. And so I'm not going to spend all week long getting everybody ready for the next game, looking at it through the lens of what can Jonathan Gannon and company do this week to save their jobs. I'm done. I am breaking up with the general manager and the head coach. It's not me, it's you. I am not going to sit here and try to convince myself week after week that something is going to change here and they're going to show me something that makes them deserve a year 4. They're telling you. We are about to approach Thanksgiving of year 3 of this regime. And I would argue it's getting worse by the second. It's getting worse by the day. It's getting worse by the game. And let me tell you, if you think the last 2 weeks were bad, we are on the doorstep. We might be ringing the doorbell of a team that has nothing to play for. And this train car could get entirely derailed with 7 games. They're 3-7. They have 7 games to go. We have to sit down on Sundays and watch this team 7 more times. We have to watch them commit 17 penalties for 130 yards, a Cardinals franchise record. And to me, that is the epitome of why there needs to be a change at the end of this year. You had the worst performance you've had as a head coach the week prior, going up into Seattle and being not just embarrassed and outcoached, you were outclassed. You didn't belong in the same field as Seattle last week. And you come back, and that's the performance? That's what you give me? 17 penalties for 130 yards? That's the performance I get from you? No, I will not try to convince you that there's anything worth paying attention to in these final 7 games. I'm done. Mark it down, November 17th, 2025. The Arizona Cardinals need a new coach, and they need a new GM this offseason. And if they don't make those changes, if they don't look to change the culture and the regime, then what happens in year 4, they deserve.
They are in a position right now where the wheels have come off this season. And not only are you losing football games, and not only has injuries been a problem, you're now getting embarrassed by divisional opponents. People don't respect the Cardinals when they play them. People think you can be pushed around. And last but not least, you have a coach that gets up to the podium that after every game over the last however many weeks looks like a fool. Looks like a complete fool. When he gets up there and says, they call what they call, it is what it is. We need no changes on the offense. He looks uninterested and
he looks resigned to his fate.
Yeah, he looks, I just can't believe the whole organization has quit. That's the difference. And that's what this week showed. They have quit. Maybe not the players, but it certainly feels like the staff has.
You allowed Brock Purdy to play for the first time since the end of September and throw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions and just keep the San Francisco offense on schedule and made it look easy yesterday. 19 of 26, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, only took the 1 sack. That's all you were able to muster against Brock Purdy. Sure, Jacoby Brissett set a new NFL record for the most completions in a game with 47. Great. Hang that banner up there in State Farm Stadium. That's all you have. That's all 85 points over the last 2 weeks for a defensive-minded head coach. The area of the ball that got the care, the attention, the investment in the offseason should not be allowing 85 points in a 2-week span. Back-to-back 40 spots. Not just any opponents, but fellow NFC West opponents. And I said it last week, and it bears repeating here again. You are miles behind the rest of the coaching in the NFC West. You are miles behind the 3 coaches that have their teams in the mix right now, that have their teams in a spot to make the postseason, to make noise, to host a home playoff game. You're 3-7. Your team was unprepared last week. Your team committed 7 penalties yesterday. You don't see LA doing that. You don't see Seattle doing that. You don't see San Francisco doing that. Those are the class, coaching-wise, in football right now. You aren't even in the same zip code of that group. Just from that premise alone. What is it now? 3-13 for Jonathan Gannon against the NFC West? 3-13. Take his overall record and throw it out. You are never going to get anywhere as a franchise if you can't win games against your division. And here's the dirty little secret, everybody, to open the show today. The team that you've watched the last 2 weeks, the team that you watched last week allow 44 points to Seattle. The team that you watched this week at home give up a 40 spot to a quarterback coming off the bench, hasn't played in 2 months, committed 17 penalties. The team that you've watched the last 2 weeks, ask yourself, honestly, are they just a quarterback away from fixing all this? Was that the thing that was missing yesterday, a quarterback? Was it the quarterback? Was it his fault for all the special teams miscues that they had yesterday? Was it his fault? Was it the lack of a quarterback that you committed the 17 penalties? Is it his fault that the defense has given up 85 points over the 2 weeks? Now, this isn't a ringing endorsement for bringing back Kyler Murray. No. This team has bigger problems than who's under center. To me, they have a problem of who's coaching them. Because we're going to talk about this in hour number 2 of the program, to open hour number 2 of the program, but I believe it bears mentioning it right now. Michael Wilson had 15 catches for 185 yards. He's showing to you the talent that he has. It's been wasted under this coaching staff. And that goes beyond Gannon. Drew Petzing gets some blame for that, gets a lot of the blame for that as the offensive mastermind. But Gannon is supposed to oversee all of it. He's supposed to be the CEO type. He's supposed to be the guy that's able to look at the whole picture and put it all together. I had to wait until week 10, week 11 of the NFL season to see that performance from Michael Wilson. All it took was Marvin Harrison Jr. being out with appendicitis. It took being a 3-6 football team, getting embarrassed the week prior, having nothing to play for me to see that version of Michael Wilson defeating the ball 18 times. It's coaching malpractice. So I'm done. I am not going to convince myself that there is anything worth seeing over these final 7 games. I am done trying to convince myself that something over these last 7 games is going to change my mind. I have felt this way from about the midway point of the season. And this team, since they beat the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, have been a complete embarrassment. And I don't care all of the injuries that they have on injured reserve. It is year 3. This is a roster they put together. These are draft picks that they made. These are roster choices and coaching choices that they all agreed to and signed off on. 3-7, and you got embarrassed at home yesterday. And for the second straight week, you've been embarrassed by a fellow NFC West team. You don't even belong in that division. If there was relegation, you'd be kicked out of the NFC West with the way that you've played against them. But hey, producer Evan, everything's fine. There's going to be no changes this week. Jonathan Gannon, Monty, they're not on the hot seat. Nothing to worry about. What you're watching with your own two eyes the last couple of weeks, you don't need to be worried about that. They just need to be able to get their quarterback in here. That's the problem. That's the issue. Don't worry about the coaching issues. Don't worry about the fact that the general manager didn't do anything to the roster on the offensive side of the ball this past offseason. Don't worry about any of that. It's like I'm watching The Wizard of Oz. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. No. Those issues that you clearly see every single week, you don't have to worry about those. It's Kyler Murray's fault. Jacoby Brissett has to play quarterback for us. We just don't have the right quarterback. We have to get our guy in here. We were just so hurt all season long. That's it. That's the reason. We've won 3 divisional games in 3 years, but no, don't worry about that. Just we didn't have the quarterback. All we need is the quarterback. That's all we need. I'm sorry. I'm not giving the keys to make that decision to the people that have showed me so far. They don't have a clue what they're doing. Not a clue. To get embarrassed in this way. 85 points over the last 2 weeks from a defensive-minded coach. It has to be better than that. It has to be. That side of the ball's not hurt. That side of the ball is relatively healthy.
Give me a game this year where they had a good game plan.
The Dallas game's the only one that I can immediately think of.
That's read my mind. So you have one game.
They played well in the first 3 quarters against Indy. They played well the first 3 quarters against Green Bay. I didn't even mention that. You've got a coach who in the fourth quarter just completely forgets how to operate. Leads in the fourth quarter. He gets scared.
Can't manage the clock. Can't win the game in the fourth quarter.
And now in year 3, we're getting close to Thanksgiving. And in year 3, we're setting franchise records for penalties in a game. Now, maybe it's just a one-off, but that should not happen in year 3.
You're saying the last 2 weeks they gave up 85 points. Let's circle back a little. This is a defensive-minded head coach. Gave up 31 against the Colts, 27 to the Packers, who, by the way, over the last 3 weeks haven't scored more than 20. You gave up 17 to the Cowboys. That's your best game of the year. 44 to Seattle, who threw 4 interceptions this week?
Sam Darnold threw 4 picks yesterday against the Rams, yes.
Yeah. And then you gave up 41 to the San Francisco 49ers, who haven't played their quarterback all year long.
I'm done. I'm using today's show. I'm using today's daily special to officially say I'm breaking up with Monty and JG. I'm done. I don't need to see them get a year 4. I don't need to see them get the keys to the franchise to be able to pick the next quarterback.
If you come back, in all seriousness, what does the press conference look like bringing them back?
Oh, I can tell you exactly what it is. Didn't have their quarterback, and they were hurt. Those are the 2 excuses you're going to get at the end of the season for why Michael Bidwell doesn't make any sense.
And I want to put the pressure on the media here in town. Ask the questions then.
I certainly think that if they tried to run this thing back, sans quarterback, that there's going to be a lot of questions as to why that's the case.
And the first question I would ask at that press conference is, what have you seen that makes you think this could get better?
And what a great question, because there is no answer to that.
Right, because if the argument is, oh, well, we didn't have our quarterback, okay, you were 2-5 with the quarterback.
And this is the backup that you wanted in here for this exact scenario. Either Kyler needed to miss some time, or you thought Jacoby Brissett was a higher floor option than Kyler Murray. This was your handpicked guy to be the backup quarterback. He completed 47 passes yesterday. New NFL record for completions in a regular season.
I was going to say, don't say franchise. It's at the league record.
It's a league record, 47 completions. They outgained the 49ers, by the way.
Yeah, they had almost 500 yards.
Yeah. I saw a stat that when teams outgained their opposition by over 200 yards, they were like 14-0 going into yesterday. Well, they're now 14-1. Thought I saw stats something like that yesterday. I don't know. I at some point watching the game, I stopped those stats that came across my Twitter timeline. I was just numb to them because I don't need stats. My eyeballs tell me this team stinks. This coaching staff stinks. Roster stinks. The philosophy of we're not going to do anything to our offense, it was just bad. It was bad. Now they're 3-7, and the final 7 games We'll see. We'll see if this mantra of, no, we don't need to make any changes. No, everything's fine. We'll see if that holds. We'll see if that's able to hold here over these final 7 games. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We're starting out hot today. I mean, we just shot out of a cannon here on a Monday, and I was stewing on this all day yesterday, stewing on it on the drive-in. And so I don't know where the rest of the show is going to take us. We appreciate you being here. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. You can chat away and you can watch the program over there. I mean, I would love to say we're going to go from a mess to something positive, but it's from one mess to another because last night the Phoenix Suns blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about that next. It's a lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
For over 60 years, Fisher Tools has been the Valley's trusted source for quality, precision, and power. Family owned and operated for 3 generations, we're proud to be a local Tempe business offering the best tools and supplies for every construction job. With the largest selection of power tools in the Valley, from Milwaukee to Makita to DeWalt and more, we've got everything you need to get the job done right. And with our dielectric glove testing facility on site, you can trust the safety of your gear. Looking for the latest innovations? Join Fisher Tools for our annual customer appreciation event on December 3rd. It's a day packed with product demos, giveaways, and over 30 top vendors from the tool industry. Enjoy a free lunch and hang with the Big Red Radio with free parking, fun, and all the tools you need. We're known for having everything in stock because our slogan is, if we don't have it, we can't sell it. See why we've been the Valley's go-to for tools for over 60 years. Visit Fisher Tools today in-store or online at fishertools.com.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Scorpion Harley-Davidson is making it easier than ever to ride with rates as low as 0.01% for 36 months on select 2024 and 2025 touring motorcycles, including the all-new Road Glide. Imagine carving up the road with iconic style, power, and comfort, all in one legendary machine. Don't miss your chance to lock in this incredible rate or shop 100-plus in-stock pre-owned motorcycles. Scorpion Harley-Davidson. Online at scorpionharley.com. On approved credit, see dealer for details.
Home here through Rome Report. Let me take a moment and talk about the New England Patriots, and not because they beat the hapless Jets last night, because that's what good teams do. They beat bad teams. But because first-year head coach Mike Vrabel has worked a miracle. We all knew he'd improve upon last year's 4-3 mark, but no one anywhere guessed we'd get to the middle of November and they'd have the best record in football. So they're not just some nice regular season story. They're a legit Super Bowl contender and a breath of fresh air. We don't have that curmudgeon, Bill Belichick, bittering his way through his pressers, sucking the life out of every room he walks into, and making us all feel like morons. Instead, we have Vrabel, who is all juice, and a stud quarterback, Drake May, who's about all the right things and a legitimate MVP candidate. The Pats are no longer the evil empire that they were when they were stacking Lombardis, deflating footballs, and lying about it. In fact, they're a party, and I've got no problem saying it. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Hey, want to win the holiday season? Of course you do. That's why you need Aura Frames. Aura Frames are my favorite gift because it's personal, easy, and unforgettable. Get this. You can even upload photos of you and your loved ones before it arrives. Aura Frames is thoughtful from the moment it's unwrapped, and it makes it look like you planned it all along. And let's be real, fellas. This is so much better than that sweater you were eyeing. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com for $45 off on a Carver mat frame with code ROME, and support us by mentioning the Jim Rome Show at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old, Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan machine, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back into the lunch break. You're on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the program. We go from one mess yesterday to another mess, thinking to myself, Cardinals game's over. At least I get to sit down, sit back, relax, throw on the big screen, some Phoenix Suns basketball. And we were looking forward to this game as a litmus test for the Phoenix Suns, who have done an excellent job in the early part of the season, beating the teams that they are supposed to beat. They've done an excellent job of that. This was that next level, the next bar on the high bar, if this was the Olympics. These teams that are closer to them record-wise, closer to them talent-wise, how would they fare? And first quarter and a half, you're worried. Suns not playing great. No Grayson Allen. Ryan Dunn inserted into the lineup. Down 50-37 with about 4 minutes or so to go there in the second quarter, and it flipped. And all of a sudden, despite playing that poorly, not knocking down shots, they went into halftime up 58-57. And you're just thinking to yourself, here we go again. The Suns are just going to find a way. It's been the theme so far. They're just a gritty basketball team that's never out of it. They've come back from deficits larger than this. They're going to do it again at home. They're going to do it again now, this time against a great team. And you're going to have a story to tell on Monday when talking about the Phoenix Suns. And it was second half. They just came out on fire, had a big 22-point lead at one point in the game. And in the fourth quarter, with about 8 minutes to go in the game, Suns had a 20-point lead. They led 107-87 with, let me check the notes here. Let me check the box score. With 8 minutes exactly on the clock, they had a 107-87 lead. You know how it ended. 124-122 Atlanta. Phoenix couldn't knock down a shot. Devin Booker tried to take over there late in the game and was great in terms of keeping the Suns alive when Atlanta was just hitting everything. 47 points in the fourth quarter. And so what do we do with it? Is that just a one-off performance against a good, solid Atlanta team? Or is it cause for concern? What do you do with a game like that? Because let's face it, we wanted it to be a test. We wanted it to be a challenge. It looked early like the Suns were going to fail the test, fail the challenge. Then it looked like they were going to pass with flying colors. And then you look up and they lose the game and you feel extremely disappointed because it was right there. It was there with a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter. And just earlier this week, they've had leads that large and they finish the job. They didn't finish this one. The quality of the opponent was raised. They were playing an Atlanta team. Do you worry now that that is a sign of things to come with Portland on the schedule coming up, Minnesota on the schedule coming up, San Antonio, Houston, all next up for the Suns here? And unfortunately, I don't get to pull the schedule off and add another victory to the list. We're going to have to go a couple of days without that. Do you worry about it, or do you allow it to be a one-off? Do you allow it to be a first-year head coach with a brand-new team? They just had a bad night in a season so far where they haven't had that many bad nights like that. So you give them a pass, you give them the get-out-of-jail-free card, and you wait to see if it happens again. Then it becomes a cause for concern. Are you willing to give them a mulligan for what happened? It pains me to give them the mulligan because it was right there. And boy, is the narrative so different if they finish off the win yesterday against Atlanta. You're coming in here. It's another win. The win streak's now 6. They've beaten a good team in Atlanta, and all bets are off at how we're talking about this team. And instead, it's not so much that they lost. It's the 20-point lead that they blow in the fourth quarter. It's allowing 47 points to Atlanta in the fourth quarter. We just talked about, defensive-minded head coach in Jonathan Gannon allowing 85 points over the last 2 weeks. The Phoenix Suns told us they were going to be better defensively. And for most of the season, they've been really good. That fourth quarter was ugly. That fourth quarter was not good. 47 points. Now, credit to Atlanta. They just got hot, started knocking down shots. But you just hate to see that they weren't able to buckle down and get enough stops late in that game to nurse it to the finish line. And even if they nursed it to the finish line, you'd still feel good about the win. Instead, it's a loss. Instead, they blew a 20-point lead in a game against a good quality opponent that they gave away. You just worry about that snowballing.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, I think the conversation changes had you won the game late, because it's not, they survived a win. It's, hey, young head coach, you had Atlanta. I mean, you said it yourself, shooting the lights out there in the fourth quarter. I don't care how bad a defense you're playing, 47 points in the fourth quarter, you have to be shooting well. There's just really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And for the Suns, if they were able to kind of say, okay, we're getting pushed back here into our own corner and respond and still win the game, I think you say, hey, it's a young head coach who knows they slipped up in the fourth quarter, still able to get it done, and he can learn from this, and you learn from it in a win. Now you're in a position where you're like, hey, that's a huge loss to a team that is a factor in the Eastern Conference, and that would have been a huge home win. So now that you've lost, it's like you said, you can't let it snowball. You can't let this loss kind of propel you into this hard stretch and really have you take a step back.
Yeah, because you gave it away, right? I mean, you had a 20-plus point lead in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes to go. Atlanta shot 16 of 25 from the field in the fourth quarter. I mean, just absolutely insane, 64%. And I honestly, I don't want to say that there's a silver lining from this, because you never want to give games away, especially when we think Phoenix might be able to just kind of be on the fringes of the play-in spot. You don't want to give away a game like this one that could potentially be the thing that keeps you out when you had a 20-point lead late in the game. But if I were to say that there was a silver lining, now we get to see how they respond to something like this. We get to see very early on how Jordan Ott, as a young head coach, responds to something like this, how the team responds to allowing 47 points. And it's another good opponent coming up tomorrow night when they take on Portland in Portland. So if there's something to be encouraged, I'm excited to see how they respond. Now, check me on Wednesday how excited I am if they lose that game against Portland. If they win that game against Portland, then yes, I will continue to be excited that they were able to use this as a learning opportunity. If it does snowball, I'm going to be less excited by the whole thing. But just extremely disappointing for them to lose that game the way that they did, because it was right there. And the narrative is so different if they win that game. No matter how they win it, the narrative is so different as this streak continues to grow. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. There was a lot of great football, not at State Farm Stadium yesterday, but a lot of great football across the NFL. We react to it all. We call it the NFL Rewind, and it is next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join ASU women's basketball this Saturday on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils have fought hard this season and are ready to give it their all against UNLV. Under the direction of head coach Molly Miller, ASU remains undefeated on the court and look to keep their streak going as they defend Desert Financial Arena. It's ASU versus UNLV this Saturday afternoon. A pregame at 1:30 p.m. and tip-off at 2, right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I work for the Arizona Department of Public Safety Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit. Any idea why I stopped you today?
No, sir.
I stopped you for distracted driving. Arizona law prohibits the use of electronic devices unless they're hands-free. Truck drivers see everything, except their blind spots. Cutting off a truck is like cutting off a freight train. It's dangerous, so stay focused on the road. Visit sharetheroadaz.com to learn how to drive truck smart.
Sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation and the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The other day I couldn't find my belt, and my wife found my belt, and as she brought it to me, she said, "Where would you be without me?" And I wanted to say, exactly here without the belt. In fact, I would have the belt because I would know exactly where it was in yesterday's pants on the floor. But now, we're not allowed to leave yesterday's pants on the floor, so I need a National Treasure-style map to find my one lousy belt.
Seth Meyers, live on stage, Saturday, March 14th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be.
Place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun.
The place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Twin Arrows.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
Welcome back into the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. It's time for the NFL Rewind, our trip around all of the action yesterday. And boy, were there some great games in that early morning window. Your tour guide for the NFL Rewind, the current leader in the picks. Producer Evan, take it away.
We start in Spain, and if you didn't wake up, you missed a good one. Including me. In overtime.
You said you weren't getting up for it. You made it very clear on Friday you were not picking it because you were not getting up to watch it.
In overtime thriller, Dolphins edge out the Commanders 16-13 on a game-winning field goal.
You told me in the morning meeting you think this is the ticket. Mike McDaniel not going anywhere.
Yes. Congratulations to Mike McDaniel. Saved his job the last 2 weeks.
I will continue to sell that take. I believe they will be making a change at the end of the season, but it is impressive to see them not quitting on him. I don't think that is something to just scoff at and throw away. They beat Buffalo last week. This win over in Madrid. Boy, how far the Commanders have fallen.
Only 2 games out of being ahead of the Chiefs for the Dolphins.
I see what you did there. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to add anything to that.
All right, game of the day. 31 of 45, 448, 3 touchdowns, a comeback victory that went to overtime. Panthers get it done, 30-27 over the Falcons.
I cede my time to the representative from Pennsylvania.
Panthers officially back in the hunt category, 6-5 on the season, just a half game out of the division lead over against Tampa Bay. What a day for the Panthers. Could they host a playoff game? You don't want to play that team. The way they run the football, you don't want to play that team.
Credit where credit is due. Bryce Young has done a really nice job this year. Yesterday was very impressive. Atlanta looks like they've lost Michael Penix. So it's going to be Kirk Cousins time.
Rooting for Kirk.
Speaking of a mess, Atlanta is
a mess.
Because you know what they don't have? They don't have their first round pick.
I will tell you, they do get pressure now. Not in this game, but in some other ones.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they get pressure on the quarterback.
The Buccaneers travel to Buffalo
I mean, what
was the game of the early window. Buccaneers 32, Bills 44. Josh Allen gets it done. 3 touchdowns for the air, 3 on the ground. That's the second time he's done that. Becomes just the third time that's ever happened. Second player to do so.
Every time I looked up, Red Zone was on this game, and somebody was scoring a touchdown.
It was awesome. Sean Tucker with quite the day as well.
Came in a loss. They're not going to remember the Sean Tucker game there in Tampa, and it's back-to-back really tough losses for them. We said it on Friday that the quality of the opponent last week against New England, now this week against Buffalo, was going to really kind of show us where they're at. They're a little behind those top-tier teams in the NFL right now.
Davis Mills travels to Tennessee and gets it done. A 16-13 win in Tennessee over the Titans.
I asked the question honestly. Did Red Zone go to this game once?
I didn't see a single play.
There are times where I walked out to get food or I was looking at something else. I don't remember seeing a play from this game.
I saw the game-winning field goal. That I'm seriously mean. I think that was the only play
I saw that on social media. I didn't even see it on Red Zone.
Yeah, that was
because
it.
I had switched over to the Cardinals by that point.
I think that was the only game I had seen. Only.
Credit to the Texans. Finding a way.
Always finding
a way.
The Bears, the comeback kids, get it done. 19-17 over the Minnesota Vikings in felt like a rewatch of Week 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were very close. I don't know if you were thinking it. I was thinking it. We were getting very close to the fourth quarter. J.J. McCarthy doing it again, and I was afraid. I was afraid of this segment because I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't just going to rehash what I said in Week 1 because I got destroyed for it. So I was very concerned. Bears said, "We got you. Don't worry. The Viking season is over. We can end their season, and they have a real quarterback conundrum on their hands.
They really do.
I don't know what you do.
It's a win now roster with a quarterback that needs years to grow. And I'm not closing the book on J.J. McCarthy, but it's a quarterback that really needs to grow with a win now roster. It made no sense when they drafted him, if you ask me, and it makes even less sense now that they let Sam Darnold walk, let Daniel Jones walk. I have no idea where they're going to go from here.
Nope, not a clue.
The Packers hold on against the Giants.
Lock of the century. I should have made it my 2-point play.
And the overhit.
It was a lock of the century. You had the full Jameis Winston experience. He had a 10-yard QB sneak. He was throwing just bombs. And then what happens on the last play of the game? He just throws a pick.
Oh, my God. It was a horrible mess.
I mean, Jalen Hyatt just didn't run the route. He just stopped his route. I don't know what was going on. A lot of conversation post-game. Abdul Carter didn't play the first series. We found out today it's because apparently he didn't show up to a meeting for walkthroughs, was asleep, and missed a meeting. Not good. Not good for New York right now. A mess.
Things look pretty bad.
They are not. Yeah, they're not great.
The Bengals traveled to Pittsburgh and got shelled 34-12 Steelers in a game where Rodgers got hurt. Mason Rudolph came in.
You know that's not what everyone's talking about from this game. Everybody's talking about Spitgate, okay? Everybody's trying to get to the bottom of what happened.
I was leaving that up to you.
Why? It happened. And I love the ESPN video on the front page of the ESPN app that says, Chase appears to spit on Ramsey during scuffle. I don't know. I know why you put the word appears in there. You just want to be careful. I don't know if you needed to put it in there. It's pretty clear what the video shows.
No, he spit on him.
And we have a precedent with this. Thank you, Jalen Carter, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a game. Jamar Chase needs to be suspended a game.
A game, yeah.
Carter got suspended a game, but they retroactively allowed the game that he got ejected from to count. Chase got to play. Chase needs to not play this upcoming week.
That would be assuming. And that's the type of loss where you did it for
you can do it.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Bengals are done.
Yeah, Bengals are done.
So 3-7, they're done. Sit down, Burrow. Next game. Wow, I got to tell you, this was the surprise of the day for me.
Okay.
Not that they won the game, but Jaguars 35, Chargers 6. Couldn't believe how the Jags looked, and then the Chargers, it was hard to watch.
It was not their best effort, we'll say that. You used the phrase that the Chargers chargered. This was just they played bad. This wasn't the typical Charger of have a lead in the fourth quarter and blow it, right? They just got outplayed. They got outcoached. They got outworked. I mean, it was just everything. Jacksonville came prepared. Jacksonville was ready to play, and the Chargers weren't. I mean, it's just really that simple. When the score's that lopsided, they just outplayed you. Just top to bottom, you got outcoached, you got outprepared, you got outplayed.
Yeah, from the opening kickoff all the way through the fourth quarter.
Top to bottom.
In the late window, kicking it off with Seahawks at Rams.
I hate the Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams outlasted Seattle 21-19. And I got to tell you, I think the most impressive part of this game is actually Seattle's defense.
The most impressive part to me was Seattle having the ball after Sam Darnold threw 4 picks with a chance to win the game.
The fact that the Seattle defense did not quit in that game after he threw 4 interceptions and put them in continuously bad spots.
Yeah.
And when they fell down 2 scores, I was like, you imagine they quit here.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the Rams would have gotten that insurance touchdown because I was fading Seahawks plus 3.5 for the show. So I was late hoping that I could get that touchdown. I did not get it. And the Rams right now, they might be the talk of the NFC. There will be a new number 1 for me this week on the Schubert scale because I had Seattle number 1.
Oh, true.
So they will no longer be there.
No longer be there. The Ravens...
I mean, what
outlasted the Browns in a comeback,
23-16
Ravens in Cleveland. Dylan Gabriel was bad. Shador was worse.
Baltimore, what are we doing? Like,
yeah,
this shouldn't have
playing
been
with our food.
Now, credit where credit is due. The Mark Andrews,
it's a great
push. We're gonna boot him out, and he's just gone. To call that play in that spot, it takes some conviction. Todd Monken had the conviction yesterday. That was nasty. That was dirty.
There's been a couple years where I can't believe his name hasn't come up in some of the head coaching conversations.
It should. I mean, he is a very, very smart offensive mind. I mean, to call that in that spot, oh, my goodness. My goodness. That was incredible. Yeah, and Shador, I know the discourse today is it's the first time he's had reps with the first team, and everyone, destroying that. Just, you're not understanding how football works. Like, guys don't always get reps with the first team.
Especially when you have a young quarterback who needs the reps.
He was like quarterback 4 or 3 for a large chunk of the season.
And the other, it's not like they have a veteran.
Right. The other guy needs the reps too if he's going to start.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel needs every rep possible.
It's an egregious argument.
You want to argue that they should have sat Dylan Gabriel down earlier? Fine.
Fine. Yeah, good to know what you have in Sanders, but
No.
Okay. Yeah.
And he might be the starter moving forward. It was not good. It was not pretty.
Chiefs went into Denver.
I'd like to apologize to the Denver Broncos. I'd like to apologize because it's not pretty. It's in fact mostly ugly watching them play, but they just win football games.
22-19 win Broncos. They moved to 9-2 on the year. Chiefs fall to 5-5. They're out of the playoff picture in the AFC, and Jags have the tiebreaker. The Chargers have the tiebreaker all ahead of them.
Buffalo has the tiebreaker as well.
Buffalo has the tiebreaker.
Which could be important if New England wins the
all
division.
All 3 wild card teams that currently sit in the AFC have the tiebreaker against the Chiefs.
You ready? You ready for it?
Do it.
Chiefs miss playoffs.
Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs.
I could save that for Overreaction Tuesday, but I won't. I'll say it right now. Chiefs will miss the playoffs. They lose every close one-possession game. They're 0-5 in one-score games this year after being 12-0 last year. I mean, they just can't win close games. They can't do it. They don't have the personnel. And Mahomes looks mortal. He does not look like he can take over a game anymore and just will the team to victory. Chiefs are done.
In the Sunday night game, the Lions travel to Philadelphia. And it wasn't a high-scoring affair, but the Eagles get it done 16-9 over the Lions in a defensive battle.
The 2 takeaways that I think everyone has from this game is the 4th down conversions from Detroit and the pass interference call late in that game. Those are the 2 takeaways, right?
The officiating yesterday
was awful.
Awful. I mean, you have the pass interference call.
Which is not pass interference.
Which was not pass interference. And then you had the debacle on the tush push, where if he's lined up in the neutral zone and you reach out and touch him, then it's a neutral zone infraction. But they called it offside, so they don't really know what happened.
Which
there.
is why the play just needs to be removed because
And
they can't
then-
officiate it.
Because they can't
They
officiate.
just can't officiate it. Not because it's unfair. They just can't officiate it correctly.
Yeah. But I think you're almost taking away some of the stuff. The Lions defense was great. I mean, the Eagles offense lacks a ton of creativity, but given all the injuries, the Lions defense was great.
Yeah.
And the Eagles front four got after it.
And I'll continue to be okay with the way Dan Campbell coaches on fourth down. I know that's going to put me in a column by myself, but I have no issue with what he did last time.
But if they miss the playoffs and you by one game and you circle that one,
Yeah, I know.
it hurts.
I don't know if I'll circle that one compared to
some of the other
ones that they've had
Yeah.
this year.
Yep.
There you have it. They're your Week 11 NFL Rewind. When we come back, we close up hour number 1 of the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got Buy or Sell. Hottest takes in the Valley. Producer Evan has them. I'm buying or selling them next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is who do they bring in?
Back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, receive 0% APR for 72 months on a brand new 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9. You heard right, 0%. And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more.
Don't risk losing $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call. The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia. My offer expires December 1st, 2025.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit friesfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
Dynasty Collision, Phoenix's top-rated collision center, covers up to $1,000 of your deductible. Call 602-529-3304 with 5-star reviews and a lifetime warranty. Dynasty Collision is your repair solution. Call now 602-529-3304. Dynasty Collision.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back into the lunch break, closing up hour number 1 here of the program. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the show. A very quick hour number 1, especially when we have all the weekend to react to. So can't wait to see what producer Evan has in store for us for a little buy or sell. And as is a custom on Monday, it's the 2-minute drill edition. We just gotta go.
There's nothing that can change your mind for the rest of the year. Jonathan Gannon needs to go.
Yeah, bye. I mean, I broke up with him and Monty in hour number 1 of the program, or the beginning of the show today. I'm good. I have seen enough. The resume has enough data points on it for me to feel like I am not overreacting. I'm not quickly rushing into a decision. I have enough data points to say I don't think this is the direction that's going to lead the Cardinals back to being a playoff team.
Colin Gillespie has been the Suns' best player off the bench this year and has a chance for Sixth Man of the Year.
So you had me in the first half. Sixth Man of the Year is going to be tough. A lot of great candidates across the sport. He's been really good, though. So I'll buy the intent of the take. He's been really good. I know Ryan Dunn's been good since coming off the bench. But, yeah, I mean, Colin Gillespie is being put into the role that we all thought he should be in last year. Not as the starting point guard, but as the guy who comes off the bench and can lead a unit and just provides that energy. And more so than anybody else on the team, you want somebody who embodies what the Suns want to be. It's Colin Gillespie. They had that crazy play last night. Balls bouncing around all over the place. It's going out of bounds. We're throwing it back. I mean, just that play doesn't happen last year.
No.
That play doesn't happen last year.
The Chiefs will finish with less than 10 wins.
Yeah, bye. They're going to miss the playoffs. I'm just not impressed with this team. Now, I don't know what their schedule is.
I'll give it to you. I got it up here.
Probably should have looked at that before I proclaimed them out of the playoffs. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Chiefs host the Colts next week.
Could lose that game.
Certainly. Then they travel to Dallas on a short week on Thanksgiving.
Okay, they could win that. We'll get them to 6.
Texans at home.
They could win that one. We'll get them to 7.
Chargers at home.
They could lose that game.
Certainly. So they're at 7 now.
They're going to beat the Titans for 8.
Titans at 8.
And I think they can beat the Raiders for 9. So, I mean, it's possible that they get to 10.
On a short week, they got the Broncos at home. Just short week, give me the Broncos. They feel like a team that
thrives.
That thrives on that.
Yeah, I think they missed the playoffs.
I certainly do too. Because is 10-7 good enough? That's the first question.
That's a great question.
And then is it good enough if you don't have the tiebreaker against the Bills, who will definitely win 10 games, the Jags, who knows, and the Chargers, who you have to play at the end of the year, towards the end of the year here.
Yeah, I agree. I will buy the take. Is that it?
That's it.
Wow. We got through them all? Great job by us.
Well, I mean, we got 28 seconds of music left. I'm not going to give you one more.
That's fair. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. A very quick, frenzied first hour of the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Was there at least one good thing that came out of yesterday's Cardinals game? We'll explore next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new Off the Rails Tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, GoSoldAZ.com. That's GoSoldAZ.com.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now at Mark Mazda, receive 0.9 APR for 60 full months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like a 25 Mazda CX-5. And don't know what to do with your trade? We'll give you a minimum $8,000 for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs based on the actual MSRP.
And if $8,000 is the minimum, think what your good trade might be worth. The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda on Blue Credit Plus 998.
Does your student struggle in a traditional school setting? For nearly 25 years, Primavera Online has helped Arizona K-12 students thrive with an accredited tuition-free education from home. Learn more at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Monday. Recapping a lot of bad over the weekend in Valley sports. The one good thing that happened over the weekend, we'll get to a little bit later on in this hour with ASU winning on Saturday. But yes, we do need to go back to yesterday's embarrassment for the Cardinals against the San Francisco 49ers, because I do want to maybe try to find the one good thing that came out of that game yesterday, and it was the individual performance of one Michael Wilson, who had 15 catches for 185 yards on 18 total targets. Just a explosion, a breakout performance for Michael Wilson here in year 3 of his career. And with that breakout performance, 185 yards, he puts himself in a really interesting conversation. His career high in catches was last year with 47. He's got 37 already this year after the 15 yesterday. So definitely has a chance to break that number. He had 565 yards his rookie season. That's the most he's ever had. He's at 416 right now. So potentially a world where he sets a career high in that regard. 71 targets. He's at 56 right now. The 71 was last year. So needs 15 more targets the rest of the way. Certainly, one would assume, one would hope that after this breakout performance when he had 18 targets and caught 15 of them and it's not just the 15 catches and the 185 yards, it's the style in which some of these catches happen, right? Going up, contested catches, going up, making one-handed grabs, extending out, leaving his feet, just making athletic type plays that, let's face it, the Cardinals didn't have a lot of that all season long. They haven't had a lot of that all season long. And Michael Wilson hasn't really had an opportunity to provide that. Well, with a quarterback who's not afraid to rip it, as evident by the 47 completions on 57 attempts yesterday, an offense that didn't have Zay Jones, an offense that didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr. yesterday, was the wide receiver 2 or maybe the wide receiver 1. I don't know if we're ready to have that conversation. Was the wide receiver 2 we were all searching for on the roster the whole time? Was it just a case of Michael Wilson needing to be given the opportunity? Was it just the case of Michael Wilson needing to be put in a position to show that he can be the receiver that he was yesterday? Now, come on. You and I both know he's not catching 15 passes every single game the rest of the way. This was a one-of-one performance. This was a breakout type campaign for Michael Wilson yesterday. But at 3-7, with 7 games left to go, while I've made my position very clear, this organization still believes in this coaching staff. They still believe in the general manager. They still believe in the roster in its current setup. You want to convince the powers that be to keep you around? Can we see more development from Michael Wilson here down the stretch? Can we see after this performance that you feature Michael Wilson? Because, producer Evan, can you not envision a world where next Sunday, maybe Marv's back from his appendicitis and he's able to play, and all of a sudden, Michael Wilson's got 4 targets. Michael Wilson's not involved in the offense.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like there's going to be a world where get to the end of the year, you're just going to be like, hey, remember that game Michael Wilson had against the Niners? Like, that just feels like what it's going to be.
You're afraid because of maybe you want to call it your bias or your preconceived notion or your current feelings or vibes about this coaching staff. You are worried that yesterday is just going to be an outlier. Now, statistically, it is going to be an outlier because, again, I don't think he's going to be able to do that every single week. But the main premise was that we can feature Michael Wilson, we can get him touches, we can get him the ball, and it helps our offense. That theme can still continue the rest of the season, no matter who is back. No matter if Marvin Harrison Jr. returns next week, the week after, returns in a month, it doesn't matter. You need to find a way to keep Michael Wilson involved. Because if you are going to allow these guys to pick a quarterback next year, you want to give that quarterback an opportunity. And by pick, I don't necessarily mean the draft, although it is sort of trending in the direction where they're going to be in the mix towards the top part of the draft to be able to pick one of these guys. Whoever they bring in via a trade, via free agency, via the draft, you want that quarterback, whoever it is, however you get that quarterback, to be set up for success. And you want that quarterback to be set up for success with the infrastructure around him, with the supporting cast around him. And using these last 7 games to see what you have in Michael Wilson, shouldn't have taken this long, but to continue, build on this momentum. You're not going anywhere. You're 3-7. Season's over. We were ending seasons during the rewind. The Cardinal season is in that group as well. They're not going anywhere. So these last 7 games need to be impactful. They need to be development opportunities for, so let's just pick players, right? This is a development opportunity for Walter Nolan. It's a development opportunity for Darius Robinson. It's a development opportunity for the young corners to get more experience. It's a development opportunity for players like Michael Wilson. It is a development and growth chance for all of these players to lay the foundation so that next year they can hit the ground running. That you're not going into next year, who's our wide receiver 2? Who's standing next to Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do we really have somebody that we like? Wouldn't you like to use these last 7 games to try to see what Michael Wilson can provide? Wouldn't you like a garden? You want to water the plants, make sure they grow, the flowers. You want to take care of them. Michael Wilson showed you he's worth investing into. He's worth watering. He's worth dedicating the coaching headspace and your resources as a coach into trying to develop that player. And boy, wouldn't you feel better about the state of things if you got to the end of the year and you were able to say, man, I think we got something in Michael Wilson. Instead of saying, man, I don't know if we've got something in Michael Wilson. Or I'm worried that Michael Wilson's going to go elsewhere and be great because another team's going to figure out how to use him. Wouldn't you rather take that off the table? And so yesterday was a good thing only if the Cardinals capitalize on it. Only if they continue to invest the time, the targets, the resources into Michael Wilson as a player. That is the only way yesterday has a silver lining, has a good thing come from it. You gave up 85 points the last 2 weeks. There's not a whole lot to take away from these last 2 weeks. But if this Michael Wilson breakout performance turns into something because the Cardinals make it into something, then yesterday served some purpose. Now, over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, Paul says, go ahead and keep blaming only the coaches for this embarrassment of the team. But for those of us who possibly don't care if we ruffle the feathers of the Cardinals owner, trust me, Paul, let me make something very clear. I do not worry about ruffling feathers. It is not a concern of mine how the owners feel about my opinions. I don't care. I tell you what I think the moment I think it. I don't know what good the conversation is about the owner being bad at this does. Where does it get us? The owner's not changing. The coach can change. The GM can change. The owner's not changing. The owner's not going anywhere. The owner's not selling. So yeah, is it good? Does it feel good sometimes to get it off your chest and to vent about how the owner doesn't know what he's doing? The owner doesn't have a clue. He's picking the wrong people. Sure, it feels good, but you don't get anywhere. You can convince yourself, at least I can, that despite
Maybe not being the best owner, getting in, an F from the NFLPA report card, although I don't know if we're going to have those anymore. There's a group of owners that are trying to make sure those never see the light of day ever again. You can convince me that even an owner that gets an F from the NFLPA report card, that hasn't gotten any of this right, can stumble into getting it right once. I will use this example all the time just because it's from my backyard, right? Growing up, do you know how often I heard how bad of an owner James Dolan was? Do you know how many times I heard that James Dolan doesn't know what he's doing? He doesn't have a clue. He's ruining the Knicks. They're going to suck forever until he sells the Knicks. They're never going to get anywhere. I don't know if you have any Knick fan friends in your life or if you know anybody that you can talk to about this, but ask a Knicks fan how they feel about James Dolan. They don't say a peep about him anymore. Why? Because they're winning, because he hired the right people. Now, you can call it dumb luck. You can call that, he just blindly threw a dart at the dartboard and he figured it out, but the Knicks are relevant. He hired a general manager. He's allowed that general manager to do things, and that general manager has worked out.
Yeah, I mean,
you can, despite being a terrible manager or a terrible owner, luck into finding the right people. If you hire the right people, it can work, despite how bad you might be.
Think about it this way. What if Schottenheimer was great? And what if all of a sudden Kenny Clark got to Dallas and was the best defensive tackle in football, and they had 2 first-round picks? You'd be like, wow, Jerry knows what he's doing.
Right. And the reason why Jerry as an owner is so bad is because Jerry's also the GM. He does both. And so, yes, do I think Michael Bidwell is part of the problem? Yeah, because I just think the organizational structure is bad. I think the way they've come to certain decisions hasn't been great. These hires have not been great. He's stuck by Steve Keim for too long. I mean, there's plenty of things that we can go after. But I don't know what good it gets us, because that part of the equation is not changing. And so if all you want is for somebody like me to constantly complain about the owner, then my advice to you would be to find a different sport, because that part of it's not going to change for the foreseeable future. But I believe that Michael Bidwell, whether it's because he makes the right decision or a good decision, or because he lucks into it, can hire the right people and put them in position. Do you think, honestly, that Michael Bidwell is making roster decisions? Do you think Michael Bidwell is telling Monty Ossenfort what to do, who to sign, who to draft? I don't think so. I don't think he's meddling in that way. I think those decisions are left to Monty. The coaching decisions are left to JG. I just think they got the wrong people. Now, I don't know if they're going to find the right people. I don't know if they're ever going to solve that. I just know right now I don't think they've hired the right people. So that's why I don't focus on that part of the equation, because that part of the equation can't change. The coach and the GM, that can change. The owner part of the equation, you can't change it. So to get back to the Michael Wilson part of it, you've had a player who yesterday had a breakout performance, had a fantastic day, 15 catches, 185 yards, fantastic. Don't allow it, like producer Evan said, to just be a footnote, to just be oh, hey, remember that?
Yeah, how about take notes from the mistakes the D-backs made, where you would see Jordan Lawler have 2 hits and then not play the next day, right?
Right.
How about use Michael Wilson again? Ride the hot hand. You need to know what you have going into next year.
Yep.
You know who else needs to know? The new GM coming in next year.
Yep.
So this is your time. And the only chance for me, for these fans, to believe that they don't need to move on from Jonathan Gannon is to have more days like that for Michael Wilson. Start winning some games.
Yeah, you just need you need to show. Again, I've made my decision. I've made it very clear where I stand on this. But if you want to try to turn the public opinion here, don't allow Michael Wilson's stat line next week to have 4 targets where he has 2 catches for 27 yards. Like, don't allow that to be the narrative that forms. Find a way to get him involved. Scheme him open. Because he showed you yesterday what he can do with the ball when you get it to him in space. When you get the ball in his hands, he can make big play after big play after big play for you. That is what you need to try to find as an organization. Players like that help you succeed. So a great performance from Michael Wilson. It has been lost in the blowout, but it doesn't have to be lost if it can continue. If this can be the start of the next chapter of Michael Wilson's career. And these final 7 games, he can be that wide receiver too. There's going to be opportunity, even if Marv comes back. Zay Jones is not here. Zay Jones on injured reserve, out for the rest of the year. Plenty of opportunity for Michael Wilson to slot into that wide receiver too. And just a very impressive performance yesterday. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. We've shouted out some comments over there a bunch. Michael says that they haven't found the right people since 1962. I hear you. And I get it. But that's not going to change. You're not going to change the person at the top. They are the owner. They run the team. It's their team. You just have to hope that if you think that they are doomed and the only way out of it is that they sell the team, you just have to hope that they get lucky. You just have to hope that they hire the right people. That's it. That's the only thing you can cling on to, because that side of the equation is not changing. There's not going to be a new owner that comes into town here and fixes this. There's not for the foreseeable future. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. When we come back, are the Diamondbacks about to do the unthinkable? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Have you noticed all of a sudden there's a bunch of lawyers saying they're going to fight for you? Yeah, until you read the fine print below them. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. If you look closely at that fine print, you'll see not an attorney in this state or not a law firm.
You never trust your future in the hands of someone other than a serious, experienced trial lawyer. And you definitely can't trust someone who won't even tell you who they are.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Bad Omens. Do you feel love? North American Tour 2026. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers, it's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Seahawks look like a team built for February. Playmakers, a great defense, and until this weekend, a quarterback in Sam Darnold, who had guided them to a crisp 7-2 start. And his resurgence has been one of the league's great redemption stories. But football is a way of revealing truth under pressure, and that's where the concern begins, or continues. Because of all the gaudy numbers, 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns last season for a Vikings team that went 14-3, his biggest games brought out his worst football. In the last 3 high-stakes games, he's 0-3. Week 18 against Detroit and last year's wild card round. Yesterday, 4 interceptions and a meltdown against an 8-2 Rams team. The full body of work still paints him as a franchise quarterback, one capable of elevating a Super Bowl-ready roster. But until he rewrites the script under the bright lights, it's hard to have that much trust when the stakes are high. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It's being called the Golden Bonanza Sweepstakes. Thanks to our friends at Mako, the DP Show, proud to be a part of this, giving listeners a chance to join us in San Francisco for Super Week. That's right, a trip for two, including round-trip coach airfare, 3 nights, hotel stay, ground transportation, and VIP access to see us do our show. If that's not enough, Mako also giving away 5 free paint jobs and 10 Mako and DP Show swag bags as runner-up prizes. It's really simple to enter. You go to danpatrick.com. The best news, you can enter daily for a chance to win. You can also receive a 25% off coupon to use at any Mako shop. Visit any Mako location now for a free estimate and redeem the coupon. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, go to danpatrick.com for official rules. No purchase necessary. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Open to contiguous U.S. D.C. residents 18 or over. Ends 11/23/25.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Well, I think we can officially say it, Producer Evan. The baseball offseason has begun. We got our first move late yesterday. Josh Naylor re-signing with the Seattle Mariners on a 5-year deal. Now, we still don't know how much money the deal's for.
We talked about this in the morning meeting. I can't remember a time.
Never seen anything like this.
Where
I haven't.
I was like, Josh Naylor signed a 5-year deal, and it was like contract to come.
Well, normally you'll get the tweet from Jeff Passan or Ken Rosenthal that says, source Josh Naylor to Mariners, or Josh Naylor, and then you're like, okay. Then like 10 minutes later, sometimes maybe 20 minutes later, you get what the terms of the contract are. So we got the first tweet where it was like, hey, the Mariners are signing or re-signing Josh Naylor, and it's to a 5-year deal. And I'm like, all right, we'll then get the contract here in like 15, 20 minutes. I've been waiting 15, 20 minutes since 8 o'clock last night.
Yeah, I mean, we're well past 12 hours.
I mean, when was I'll look it up because I have alerts on for passing this time of
year. It is insane.
Feels
we
like,
don't have an answer.
Feels like one of those,
Because especially with trades, you get this, but then 20 minutes later, you get the details.
So the tweet was 18 hours ago. 18 hours ago, first baseman Josh Naylor and the Seattle Mariners are finalizing a 5-year contract. Sources familiar with the deal tell ESPN. It was 6:14 last night. It's 1 o'clock. And we don't know how much this deal is. And this impacts everything. This impacts the hitters market. This impacts the first base market. It impacts the trade market because teams, what if the Mariners overpaid for Josh Naylor? And teams go, man, now this is going to change how much Kyle Tucker is going to cost, or is going to change how much Alex Bregman's going to cost. And then those teams decide to go hit the trade market. It has a trickle-down effect.
It completely changes what the market could be.
So we are still waiting for this, but we can officially say that the offseason has begun. Josh Naylor to Seattle. But I want to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks. And by the way, I am waiting for the number on the Josh Naylor contract so that I can take my victory lap of him getting more than Christian Walker got in free agency. Because Christian Walker got, 3 years? I think it was 3 years, $60 million. So he got $20 million a year. And I said I think there would be more years and more overall dollars for Josh Naylor.
Overall dollars or AAV? There's a 3-year, $60 million.
So he's going to get more overall dollars. I think he's going to get a higher AAV. And he's certainly getting more years.
You think he gets over $100 million?
If he gets $20 million a season, he's a better baseball player than Christian Walker is. And
Christian Walker, Josh Naylor has never been the player Christian Walker was at his peak, though.
Sure, but Christian Walker hit free agency at 33, 34 years old? Josh Naylor's hitting free agency at 29?
Yeah, I mean, he hit it at 32, right?
32. Okay, 32, so that's a 3-year difference.
Yeah.
So you're getting more peak years by signing Naylor.
Theoretically, certainly.
And he's a left-handed power bat. Now, defensively, no one's going to – I mean, Christian Walker's elite at first base defensively.
Yeah, listen, and the other thing about Christian Walker is he did come off – he gets hurt in the last year with Arizona, but before that had hit 36, 33, 26 homers.
So you don't think you are making it seem.
I think that the 3-year, $60 million, I think Josh Naylor will get less than $20 million a year. Slightly under. I think it'll be 5 years, 95.
I mean, what does that math break down to? Is that 18?
Yeah.
So you think he comes under the $20 million a year mark?
Yeah, 18 to 19 million.
I think he gets at least 100. I think it's at least 500.
We'll see.
But
hopefully soon.
Right. So here's in my head how this works, right? Passan clearly has a source that knows that he's signing.
But I don't know if there's pen to paper.
But the source doesn't know the dollar amount. The source knows the number of years. The source knows that he's signing with Seattle, but the source doesn't have the dollar amount. Feels like a weird thing to leave out. If it was just Josh Naylor signing with the Mariners and we were still waiting for the length of the deal, I could understand that a little bit more. But we got part of the equation. We got the number of years. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's obviously going to impact the rest of the market. And the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be in the middle of a lot this offseason. And I was reading a story over the weekend, MLB.com. I believe Steve Gilbert covers the Diamondbacks for dbacks.com, talking about how Diamondbacks could entertain trading Jordan Lawler and or Ryan Waldschmidt to go get that impact arm. That if they want to actually go get an impact arm, that's what it's going to cost. And I believe I've been on record here on this show. Waldschmidt would be the one prospect I would not touch. I believe he is a player that can contribute in 2026 on the hitting side. I think he's somebody that you can stick out in that outfield and he can be a contributor. And so I wouldn't do that. I would explore trading Jordan Lawler. I would explore trading any other prospect in the system. That's the one guy who I think is the closest to contributing at the big league level, and he's the top prospect in the system for a reason. He's their only top 100 prospect. That's a guy that it has to be, I'll put it to you this way. I'm only including Waldschmidt if it's a deal for like Skeens or Skubal. Like that's where I
need a top of the line.
I need a can't miss top of the line starter. If it's anybody that's not in that tier, I'm not doing it. Because he's a player that I think contributes. I talked to somebody who works in the prospect space, who has watched him play and has said, this is a guy that can contribute next year. Like, there's not going to be a whole lot for him to prove in AAA at the start of the year next year that he can contribute, that he may not make opening day so that they can keep the service time, but that he could be a contributor by the middle of the year. And so those types of players, I'm less excited about the idea of trading them because those are players that can contribute. A prospect that's really high in my system, but he's still in high A ball, I can trade that guy. The earliest I'm going to see that player is probably 3 years down the road. So I'm okay with giving that up to get an impact player, even though it's a top 10 prospect. Somebody who's at the top of my system and is also on the doorstep, knocking on the door, man, to get this close, I would want to see what that player can contribute. And by the way, we know this team's going to need outfield. Who's playing center? You're not going to have Lourdes Gurriel for at least the first half of the year. Although, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. We're starting to talk about him maybe being back by the midway point of the season. I didn't think there was a chance we would see Lourdes Gurriel by the midway point of the year.
Yeah, I didn't think we would see him at all. Or if not, till late August, September.
So the fact that there is the potential for him to come back could impact things. That if they can hang around and get him back
in July,
could be huge for the team. Could be massive to have that power in the lineup. So Lawler, I understand. The rest of the system, I understand. Waldschmidt's that one prospect that's me, from what I've heard, from the people I've talked to who watch prospects for a living and write up these prospects for a living and talk to people who watch these prospects for a living. He's just one of those players that I would want to see what he can contribute because he's on the doorstep, because he's right there and could contribute next season.
It would hurt because he's so close.
That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
If this is a guy who's in high A or just getting to double A.
Talk about those dart throws. He doesn't feel like
No, he's not a dart throw. He's somebody that you want to see because You drafted him, you developed him, and he's been a quick mover through the system. You drafted him, 2 years ago? And he's already knocking on the doorstep. I kind of want to see that through. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. I don't know why Michael is sharing this with me, but he's saying that draft day is on. Now I do tout that movie. But, Michael, why are you watching draft day? Why are you not just consuming the program? Why are you not just hanging out with us?
You love draft day.
I love draft day. It's one of my favorite sports movies.
It's a terrible movie.
It's not a terrible movie. It's one of my
favorite. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Would you rather have that GM from that movie that Kevin Costner plays? I can't remember his name. Sonny. Or Monty Ossenfort?
Oh, give me Sonny.
Sonny gave up 3 first-round picks to take Vontae Mack.
Some might say.
I need an update, by the way. I saw this via Twitter a few months back. Bo Callahan just won his 3rd Super Bowl.
Oh, really? That's what Twitter told you?
Yes.
I will tell you this. Monty's first draft had a little Sonny in him. Moving around on draft night, moving down, moving back up to get Paris Johnson. It was very draft day-esque.
You know what we're missing is David Putney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to add Putney into the deal. Yeah. I don't know how many people have seen that movie. I love it. I watch it every year around the draft time. And I certainly will be watching it this time next year or draft time next year because the Cardinals are going to be right in the middle of things there at the top of the draft. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today and hang out with us on the program. When we come back, they're the only team that did anything positive over the weekend. The Sun Devils. Yes, that's right. Put it back on the table. The Big 12 championship. You can see it. We'll talk about it next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think the average 26 years old, Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan machine, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, they have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Hey, what's up, Arizona? I'm here right now with Diane and Matt from Fisher Tools, and they are celebrating over 60 years of supplying the Arizona construction industry with the tools they need to get the job done. All right, Diane?
That's right, Paul. We've been family-owned for 3 generations, and we're still your go-to for the best tools and supplies in town.
Yeah, we've got everything from Milwaukee to Makita to DeWalt, plus an on-site dielectric glove testing facility to keep you safe while you work.
You know, I love Fisher Tools' commitment to safety and that you're family owned. That is awesome. And another thing that's awesome, I hear you've got a big party coming up. Tell me about that.
Yep. Customer Appreciation Day is December 3rd from 8 to 2. Over 30 vendors, live demos, giveaways, free lunch, and yes, the Big Red Radio crew will be there.
So come for the tools, stay for the food, and don't worry, parking's free.
Well, that sounds like I can't miss a vet. I know I'm going to be there. You guys, you can visit Fisher Tools in Tempe or go online at fishertools.com for more info.
Sticks. The hits. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
The Black Friday Truck Super Sale is on at Tim Hovic's Santan Ford, and we are not playing. Right now, get $5,000 off MSRP on brand new 2025 F-150s, plus 0% for 60 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Read that back. 0 interest, 0 payments till next freaking year. We're loaded with F-150s, ready to move today. Do not wait for Black Friday. The trucks are here. The deals are live, and they're moving fast. Tim Hovic's Santan Ford. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
$50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey. What's up?
What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. This winter, stay warm and safe. Our complete heating tune-up is just $159.95. And if you have gas, we'll install a carbon monoxide detector for free. Carbon monoxide is the invisible killer, sending thousands to the ER and killing hundreds in the U.S. every year. Get peak efficiency, avoid surprise breakdowns, and protect your family. Make the precision decision today and call 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Join ASU women's basketball this Saturday on KDUS AM 1060. The Lady Sun Devils have fought hard this season and are ready to give it their all against UNLV. Under the direction of head coach Molly Miller, ASU remains undefeated on the court and look to keep their streak going as they defend Desert Financial Arena. It's ASU versus UNLV this Saturday afternoon. A pregame at 1:30 p.m. and tip-off at 2 right here on KDUS AM 1060, online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The one good team we had over the weekend, the Arizona State Sun Devils, defeating West Virginia, and more importantly, they got a little bit of help keeping their Big 12 championship playoff hopes alive. Now, let me just get out in front of this. The things that need to happen for ASU to get in, outside of them winning their last two games and getting a loss from either BYU and Texas Tech, I'm not even going to attempt to explain the tiebreakers and common opponents and who's played who. I can't do it. We would confuse ourselves. We would confuse you. It would be bad.
Are you ready? Well, Big 12 Conference, they figured that out for you.
Did they actually put it on the website?
No. So you have if you go to the if you type in Big 12 Championship Predictor.
Okay, so Big 12 Championship Predictor. That's what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
I'm not spelling this correctly, but I think we'll get there. Okay, so this is okay, I see this. I see this now.
Okay, so you should be looking at Texas Tech BYU.
That is what I'm looking at.
If you scroll down, you'll get the championship game chances.
Okay.
So you get Texas Tech at 93%. They'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
BYU at 61.
Yep.
And then who's third?
That would be Arizona State at 19%. So
So now you can do win out scenarios at the bottom.
So if we click ASU wins out, just by winning out,
they don't get in.
What are you talking about?
Oh, just by winning out, they have a 60% chance to win.
They have a better chance than BYU does.
Yes. But you still need BYU because if BYU's schedule, they play Cincinnati. So if Cincinnati wins.
Well, who does Cincinnati play? They play BYU and TCU.
Yep. So if Cincinnati wins out.
But what if Cincinnati doesn't win out? Why are there no choices for just splitting games?
It's just not an option.
Well, why isn't it an option?
Just click Cincinnati win out.
Oh, no, you don't have to. You ready for this? Scroll down to the schedule. Just click a game.
No way.
Just click a game, my friend. You just click one game, you can do individual results.
Oh my gosh.
So if ASU wins out and Cincinnati beats BYU, and by the way, Cincinnati's a good football team. If that happens, ASU would have a 70% chance of making the playoff, and that would be it. That's all they would need. They would be in, and they would play Texas Tech, who they've already beaten this season. That's how it would work.
And then, under that case,
let's assume
Arizona State is ranked number 2 over Cincinnati via tiebreaker, which is record versus common opponents.
We'll give BYU a win against UCF in the final. What do we think? We think Houston beats TCU and Baylor. What do we think here? You think they win both of those games? We'll give them wins in both of those. We'll give Utah a pair of wins. Just making sure. We're just making sure we have all this covered. Cincinnati can win out. Okay, so this is interesting. Now ASU, if ASU, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Houston, and Utah all win out, ASU's out, Utah's in.
Wait, so if who all went out?
If Houston, Utah, Texas Tech, Cincinnati, and obviously ASU for the sake of this exercise, if they all win out, Utah is in and ASU is out.
So if Utah wins out, they're in, is what you're telling me.
I don't know if that's for certain. I just know if Utah wins out.
If Utah wins out, they're in.
ASU is going to be out. So Utah needs to lose one of their two games.
Because, if Utah is ranked number 2 over Cincinnati and Arizona State head-to-head. because they would only have the 2 losses conference. So, okay, recapping what Arizona State needs. You need a Texas Tech and or a BYU loss.
And you need 1 Utah loss.
And a Utah loss.
So you are rooting hard for Cincinnati this week.
So you need two of Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah to lose.
Yeah, and Texas Tech's last game is against the West Virginia team that you just faced. Yeah. That wasn't very good. You should have.
No, but Kansas and Kansas State aren't horrible.
No, to me, the easiest path here is ASU wins out.
And Cincinnati beats BYU.
Remember when I just said we weren't going to do this to confuse everybody, and here we are doing it? This is what happens. BYU losing to Cincinnati.
By the way, you guys got to get over on this website, the Big 12 predictor.
This is fantastic.
Because it makes it much easier.
Oh, yeah, this is so much easier. Do they only have this for the Big 12?
I don't know.
Are there other conferences that have this? This is fantastic. Where you can just pick the games. So, yeah, ASU winning out. Actually, let me just click Utah winning out. See if that does anything. Utah winning out doesn't do anything. ASU winning out changes it a little bit. It actually puts Utah in the second spot. So you need one of Texas Tech or BYU to lose. You got 3 chances at that. You need Utah to lose. You got 2 chances at that. And you've got to beat Colorado and U of A. And I'll tell you, while it's not the most impressive win on Saturday, you did win the game after not scoring any points in the second half. You had a 22-point second quarter that gave you the big lead. You then tried to kind of sit on that lead a little bit. You weren't able to go for the touchdown that ended the game. West Virginia came climbing back. They took a lead, and you took yourself right down the field and kicked a field goal and then got the defensive stop that you needed to win. They just keep finding a way. By the way, Kenny, after the game, with a much better answer to the I'm not leaving question. I don't know if you saw his answer after the game, but a much better answer of I'm not leaving, this is home, back to the guy he was in his opening press conference. So a much better answer, and definitively saying I'm not leaving certainly helps. But this is a coaching masterclass from Kenny Dillingham and his entire staff right now.
Okay, wait, I found a crazy scenario.
Okay, so, and all of that, here I am trying to give praise to the team, give praise to the coaching, talking about him staying. You heard none of that, and now you have a scenario that I'm going to have to play out. All right, hold on. Let me clear the thing here. Go ahead.
I'm going to go through every game.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
West Virginia, you start with Texas Tech.
Yes.
Put West Virginia as a win.
West Virginia beats Texas Tech?
Beats Texas Tech.
That's a loss for Texas Tech. The title game is still BYU, Texas Tech, if that happens.
Yes. Okay. So there's a scenario.
Okay. So what
BYU beats Cincinnati.
Okay, they beat Cincinnati.
But lose to UCF.
They lose to UCF.
Okay. Houston wins out.
Houston wins out. We'll get 2 wins in there. Still Tech, BYU is the title
Utah
game.
wins out.
Utah wins out. Right now, Utah's in the title game.
Arizona State wins out.
ASU wins out. Now it's Utah, Texas Tech.
Okay. Now Cincinnati obviously loses the game to BYU. You already have that. Beat TCU.
So by beating, we're still Utah, Texas Tech.
Arizona beats Baylor.
Beats Baylor. Still Utah, Texas Tech.
Okay. Then Kansas State loses to Utah. Obviously,
yep.
And beats Colorado.
Still Utah, Texas Tech. This is we're getting weird here.
TCU loses out.
Yep.
Iowa State wins out.
Iowa State wins out. Still Utah, Texas Tech here.
Okay, I don't know where this changed for me. Baylor loses both.
Okay.
Kansas loses both.
West Virginia wins their game. Who wins UCF, Oklahoma State?
No, West Virginia loses to Texas Tech.
Oh, that's Texas Tech, ASU. Okay.
Yeah. That's where it happened?
By West Virginia beating Texas Tech, that's what flipped it for me. So that's another.
Oh, they had to beat Texas Tech? I have them still losing.
West Virginia beating Texas Tech makes it Utah, Texas Tech.
No, keep it as West Virginia loses.
Okay, so by West Virginia losing that game, it's Texas Tech, Arizona State. And then who wins UCF?
That's what I'm saying. How did it get to the point where eventually, even though Utah has the Texas Tech or had beat ASU and only have 2 losses,
well, hold on.
ASU would get into the conference championship.
Hold on, we're gonna look at the tiebreaker. ASU is ranked number 2 over BYU, Utah, and Houston via the group tiebreaker, step 2 of 7, which is the record versus common opponent. So what probably happens, and I'm not going to do this, and again, we weren't going to do this, and here we are doing this. What probably happens is with the way you have certain results playing out, it changes the record versus common opponents, and it strengthens something for ASU, and it weakens something for somebody else. That's probably what happens. or it takes a team out.
So under this scenario,
Yes.
you would only need BYU to lose.
Under this scenario, you would need BYU to lose, but I just want to see something. I just want to see
crazy outcomes, I think.
But, okay, think about this. I just flipped BYU's results.
If you make it their loss to Cincinnati,
it is Utah
you're out.
that gets in. So that's what happens. It changes the quality of a win. This is so stupid. We need to have a better way to do this.
This is a ridiculous concept.
It's ridiculous, and it was just as ridiculous last year when they were in this boat, and here they are again. So it's Colorado, it's U of A. None of what we just did here happens unless they win their next two games. So that's priority number one. You can't even start to root. You can't even start to root for other things.
This would get us to the Pop-Tart Bowl. Path to the Pop-Tarts.
My dude. If they get to the Big 12 championship game, they have a chance to play for the college football playoff again.
I'm sorry, nobody's beating Texas Tech right now.
ASU beat Texas Tech earlier this season. What are you talking about? So listen, the fact that we are even having this conversation, that it's even a possibility, is a credit to Kenny and the entire team and to Jeff Sims. I mean, he's just taking care of the football. He's not turning it over. He's taking what the defense giving him. He's using his legs great. I mean, it's a great story. However it ends.
He's not throwing he didn't turn the ball over this week.
Right, he didn't turn the ball over on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, he did at Iowa State.
He didn't turn the ball over on Saturday. That's the reason why they were able to win the game and hold on and win the game.
You can't give up a 3rd and 27 swing pass.
No, you cannot give up a 3rd and 27 swing pass. Okay, you no, but it didn't. They didn't.
The vibe in the booth after a 3rd and 27
I'm
swing
sure.
pass goes 90 yards.
I'm sure.
Let me tell you, it takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, because I'm sure what you guys were doing in the booth, you had this website up and you were doing the results when they were up. They had a 22-point second quarter. So you were doing at halftime. But yeah, it was a nice win, and it sets the table. This team is not quitting. They're not rolling over. They're going down swinging, and it could be special. The math says it's going to be difficult to do, but control what you can control. Beat Colorado next week. Beat U of A the final week of the season, and see where the chips fall at that point. Nobody is going to be disappointed if you win out and go 9-3 with everything that happened to you by missing. If you lose because of a tiebreaker getting into the Big 12 title game, I don't think anyone's really going to hold that against you. They're going to be very impressed with the way that you finished. I'm going to be very impressed with the way that you finished. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've got one more before we are out of here today on a Monday. It's called The Leftovers. All the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program, we will get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
Feed a family, make a kid happy.
We're proud to support the 25th annual Operation Santa Claus. You can help make the holidays brighter for families in need by donating non-perishable food, new toys, or children's clothing at Sanderson Ford, Sanderson, Lincoln, ABC 15, or select U-Haul locations. All donations benefit local charities. Visit givetotheclaus.com for drop-off locations and details.
Sanderson Ford, Lincoln, and ABC 15.
It's frustrating when people intervene on you, but they have problems of their own. It's like when someone sends you a text, but the text comes from their email address. I hate this. Your name at iCloud, they FaceTime you from their email address? Are you calling on a child's iPad?
Emmy-winning comedian John Mulaney announces his new tour, Mr. Whatever. Celebrity Theater, Friday, March 6th. Tickets on sale now at etix.com.
Did you know that Harrah's Auction Casino is your key to nationwide fun? That's right. You'll unlock perks at more than 50 destinations from coast to coast at your local home for Caesars Rewards. Free dining in Atlantic City? Yes. Free slot play in Maricopa? You bet. Free hotel stays in New Orleans? Oh, yeah. What are you waiting for? Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Reward Center for details.
'Tis scratches season, and all through the state, the Arizona Lottery is giving people something to celebrate. Grab your friends and gather round for the chance to win $250,000 with cash countdown. Peppermint scented candy cane cash is available at any Arizona Lottery retailer in a flash. Gift these and 4 more games for any reason, because there are more than $80 million in prizes this season. This year and all, we wish you a happy holiday. From Arizona Lottery, love the play.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is, who do they bring in?
Bring back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the program. We do appreciate it. We got a big night tonight here on the station. 5:45 tonight, pregame, Monday Night Football. The Raiders, you can listen to them right here, KDUS AM 1060. I would assume that was a part of the leftovers. We normally preview Monday Night Football, but you can actually listen to. So if you're driving around, maybe you're stuck in traffic a little bit later tonight and you want to listen to the game, 5:45 pregame tonight, you can listen to Raiders football right here on KDUS AM 1060.
This is it's an interesting one. Cowboys travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders. They're 3.5-point favorites. It feels like this season is over for both teams, so still going to watch, just not the most entertaining
There's no points on the line.
Not at all.
No points on the line. There is no Suns on tonight. So I'll be honest, I will probably have the game on my TV. I don't know how in depth I will be watching. I'll just come out and say it. I will probably use tonight because this is the perfect time to do this. I pulled out the Christmas stuff yesterday. 4 trees removed from my garage.
4. We got to get into that. 4 trees?
4 trees, yes.
Where do you put them?
So there is 1 tree that goes in my office.
Okay.
It's a smaller tree, but it goes behind me in my setup for when I do stuff from home. There is another tree, pre-lit tree, that goes in the main bedroom.
Okay.
My room.
Yep.
And then there's another tree that goes in the living room. And then there will be another tree that goes in the living room as well. That one will be a real tree that we will get locally from in town. And then there are the smaller trees that my daughter has one in her room. There's a smaller tree that gets set up on the main table in the living room. So the smaller ones I don't count, but there will be 4 in total, yes.
So the
house is a mess right now currently.
Let me ask, which trees do you do the presents under?
So the presents will go under. So this is interesting. It's kind of 2 different trees. The gifts in the house for us, the family, will go under the main tree in the living room. The family gifts that we are then going to take and transport to various family gatherings, they will go under the tree in our room.
Okay.
Because we organize all that in one spot. We keep the 2 separate so we don't accidentally take the wrong gift somewhere. There's a bit of a separation.
I love that. Yeah. So growing up, we moved when I was in high school, but in the house I grew up in, we had 2 trees. We had a real tree upstairs.
Yes.
And that's where we did family gifts, as in like extended family.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's side comes in the morning, and then my dad's side comes over at night, and we do that celebration upstairs at that tree.
Sure.
Then we had a tree in the basement.
Sure.
Which was a fake tree. That's where we did our gifts, like the 4 of us as a family, where you wake up in the morning, you would go down there and open them. That was at a separate tree. Now, basement is smaller at the new house. We are a 1 tree family. and it's been a fake tree. I've always been arguing for the real tree, but I'll give my mom credit. She wraps the bottom of it so that it looks like it has roots in a big bag, and then she puts Christmas air fresheners all into the tree. So it smells like a tree.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, she does an outstanding job.
Now, you bring up your mother. Don't think I forgot that there needs to be a voicemail that needs to get shared at some point this week.
Yeah, so little update.
Oh, no.
Update on the voicemail.
Oh, no.
So my mom
oh boy
is telling me there's not a voicemail, and I've mislabeled this, and it was a recording sent to my LSU portal when I applied.
So we have to somehow get into
so I am finding my login for my LSU application, and once I get that
this thing's lost. We're not seeing this thing. You have to log into a portal. They deactivated that account the moment you didn't go there.
That's what I think too.
This thing's lost.
I think it's gone.
This thing's gone.
My mom is convinced that I recorded it on my old computer, so I've been trying to fire that thing up.
So we think that there's multiple ways.
So I think I have it on a hard drive somewhere. Right. I got to find it.
Yeah, you've got to find that thing. And for those who maybe missed on Friday, it took until, I don't know, month 7 on the job for Evan to share with the audience and with me that he has a voicemail where Coach O opens it by saying his name, which needs to be on the soundboard immediately, just for that reason alone. So he is efforting to try to pull that off. But yeah, Christmas threw up in the house for me. So I may, instead of like devoting time, because we're not going to talk about Monday Night Football tomorrow. Maybe we'll touch on it during the news dump. I may try to do some Christmas related things.
I think that's a great time.
I don't know.
I always hated. I'll tell you how this works. It would be Sunday morning, 8 a.m. My mom would come in, be like, "Your dad's already putting up lights. You're up late." You're like, it's a bad day.
That's bad. Yeah, you're behind. So yeah, we got 3 of the trees up. We have to get the real tree once they start selling them. They're not the place in town that normally sets up the tree stand and has them. There's nothing there. I drive by it every day, so I'm waiting for that. So we're ahead. Normally they're already selling those trees, so we're ahead of the game this year.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
What else do we have in the leftovers today?
Jets bench Justin Fields. They're going to start Tyrod Taylor this week.
Yeah, it made sense. I mean, the offense was pretty poor last Thursday against the Patriots. I think if Tyrod didn't hurt his knee, he would have been in there a couple of weeks ago. But then Fields played well, so it gave Tyrod more time to recover from the knee injury. And now with the mini bye, they play Baltimore. They need their offense to look better. They have some players they're trying to evaluate. That makes sense. Now, the real question is Fields QB2, or do they elevate Brady Cook to be QB2? And Fields is in street clothes as the QB3. That's going to be the real thing to keep an eye on this week.
Michael Penix, speaking of QB2s, is headed to the IR, so it'll be the QB2 in Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins, baby.
Kirk Cousins back in the starting role for the Falcons.
They're a mess, man. I don't even know where you even begin to try to figure out what they need to do this offseason.
I'll fire the coach.
Yeah, but I don't know if you have the right quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think you do either, but I would start with the coach.
And you don't have a first-round pick to get you out of the mess.
No.
So
they have talent.
You're either going to have to hit on a day 2 pick or trade for somebody, or you're just going to have to wait. And I think those fans are going to be tired of waiting. That's going to do it for us here, Monday edition of the program. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
AM 1060 KDUS